So Randy Scott and Gary Streisky back with you on SportsCenter. No offseason for us, but the NBA offseason officially underway. First date you should circle, the draft next Wednesday on ABC and ESPN. Then Saturday the 29th, the last day for team or player options to be exercised, and that includes LeBron James. Then free agency begins a week after that, and then Vegas Summer League in mid-July. As we welcome in Sebastian Christensen to talk about it all. And Sebastian, it's kind of funny, right? We're talking about, hey, could the Celtics be the next great dynasty? Before we get to that, let's talk about the most recent one we've seen, the Warriors potentially losing a cornerstone franchise piece in Klay Thompson, who's looking for a new deal somewhere, maybe still in the Bay Area. Take us into that situation.
There's nothing tougher for a team, Gary, than walking the fine line between giving a franchise superstar a proper farewell and knowing when to let go. Mm-hmm. Negotiations between the Golden State Warriors and Klay Thompson have gone nowhere as of late. Warriors do want him back at the right price, or do we've seen no progress yet? Klay Thompson is 34 years old. He hasn't been the same since his last knee injury, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where I thought he's one of the best perimeter defenders on the NBA. I understand Warriors' side of things. They want to avoid the second tax apron, and they are facing a tough decision. I also understand Klay's side of it. Potential suitors for Klay might be the Philadelphia 76ers with their ample cap space, also the Orlando Magic. But are Klay's team exceeding what they think of their market? That's a different question. But as of now, Gary, I really think we might be heading to the end of an era in Golden State.
You mentioned a couple of those teams could be suitors for this next guy we're going to talk about, too. Paul George. Player option remains on his current deal with the Clips. Should George and LA split, though, what are some possible scenarios and destinations for PG, the eight-time All-Star?
I'll tell you what, they're not offering a 4-year max extension to Paul George, and that tells us a lot. As you said, George has a player option, and the Clippers have been reluctant to give George an extension as rich as Kawhi Leonard's despite all his injuries. I am confident that another team will offer Paul George a 4-year max extension. Clippers know about this, and they're not doing nothing about it, which to me is fascinating. We shall see if at the end of the day it is the 76ers with their cap space. If it is the New York Knicks, they would have to go a different route. A trade might be even possible at the end of the day. But if George lands in New York or in Philly, it will definitely shake up the East. He's 34 years old, but he still has superstar traits. If that happens, only then and only then, Gary, Boston will have ample competition in the Eastern Conference.
Of course, the rich get richer out east. Paul George, man, he's still productive despite being 34 years young, 22 points per game. That was second on the Clippers last season, ahead of James Harden, who averaged 16 points per game. He, too, is a free agent heading into this offseason. Basically, what we're trying to say is the Clippers have a ton of decisions to make. Sebastian Christensen enlightening us this morning on SportsCenter.
I'm on fire. It's 88 over here.